interesting question to look at where we get the information that we have about Chanukah. Not the rabbinic information that we have in the Talmud, because that's already going to start about, it's going to talk about how we celebrate Chanukah. But the idea of where are we getting our information from? It's interesting because it leads us back to ancient text. It leads us back to the books of the Maccabees. And these are the books that were supposedly written about the events of Chanukah and in and around that time period. They're not written in Hebrew, they're written in Greek, and they don't get into the Hebrew Bible. They don't get into the canon of the Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh. There's a lot of theories as to why they're not in there. One theory is because they're not written in Hebrew, they're written in Greek, and so we don't really see foreign language coming into the Tanakh, except that the book of Daniel is not in Hebrew mostly either, but it's Hebrew lettering. Maybe the lettering had something to do with it, or maybe the politics had something to do with it. Maybe it has to do with the fact that the books of the Maccabees, if written from the point of view of the Maccabees, were written by a priestly family, and they would represent the Sadducees. They would represent that group within the first few centuries that was connected to the priesthood, whereas the decisions about putting together the Tanakh were made by the Pharisees, were made once we're already into the Common Era, and those kinds of decisions have to be made. So was it in fact a political statement about one group to another group? We're really not going to know. We don't have any record whatsoever of a discussion of why the books of the Maccabees didn't get in. But they did get into the Christian canon. And because of the politics of world history, that meant for a large chunk of time, Jews were not reading the books of the Maccabees, and now have almost rediscovered them again, where we're going back and we're looking at those books because they were clearly written by and for Jews. And it talks in detail about what was going on at that time. And in fact, I would caution anyone before they read it to really know they're going to be reading excruciating details of torture. And of things that torture for children and parents watching, and it's not an easy read at all. But it certainly communicates the climate of the time. It certainly communicates what they were up against, and really makes you appreciate when we say, you know, they were fighting a war for their own independence. It really helps you understand what they were up against in terms of humanity and the crimes that were being done against humanity that were being done at that time. So all of it is sitting in the books of the Maccabees, easily accessible there all the time. It's just interesting how we don't automatically think, well, let's go look there and see for the historic account what was documented from the ancient world. It's something I do recommend that everybody does. I think that it's an important document coming from that time, and we could learn so much from it.